Welcoming you to the Leela podcast, a place where you can discover all things Osho Leela. You'll get to meet the community, learn about community life, and listen in as we share about our upcoming events and workshops from the perspective of the facilitators and the attendees, supporting you to find your way to Leela. Hello and welcome to the Leela podcast. And today we have two very special guests. They're very dear friends of ours here at Leela. We have the wonderful Kimaya and the lovely Khalis.
Hello.
So welcome to you both. Today we are going to, really I guess a specific focus will be around meditation. So we're going to talk to Kimaya and Khalis about their own experience of meditation, and we're going to be delving into a little bit about them and also a beautiful offering that they've got coming up at the end of January called The Art of Active Meditation. So stay tuned if you'd like to hear all about that at the end. So yeah, a little bit just to start with. So Kimaya is a dear friend of mine. I've been here 1.5 years. You've been here 3.5 years.
Yes.
And for me, coming to Osho Leela, Kimaya was quite a pivotal reason actually that I stayed and was like, I want to come back again. She holds the energy, she holds the energy. She's the I hope no one's saying, like the witch, the witch in the caravan out in nature and looking after the gardens. We have a yoni garden actually outside, as well as offering more than just being part of the community. She offers workshops, facilitates, but she's also been really pivotal in holding the space within Leela, part of the RAP program that we used to run, and just generally being a can-do person around the community. And she's sadly leaving. Don't want her to go, but apparently Brighton's calling her. So she will continue to be part of the promo team as well, big part of the promo team. Anything you see on the website is Kimaya. So she will be continuing to be part of our family and continue to offer workshops. But so lovely having you on the podcast, my darling.
Thank you.
My darling friend.
So beautiful. What an introduction, yes.
Yeah. And Khalis, if you haven't been to Leela, Khalis has been here quite a long time.
4 years.
4 years. Before that, had you been here?
Well, I was first here 27 years ago.
27 years ago.
Leela 1, this is Leela 2. There was another house before this, and I was there.
And Khalis is, like a sannyasin long-term follower of Osho, the meditations. He offers beautiful, really grounded meditations in the community. He's always very much a yes man, whether it be for hosting meditations, for doing anything around the house, doing the dishes. I know you love doing the dishes in particular.
I love doing the dishes.
Yeah.
I dream about it.
He's the king of the rota.
And the king of the rota.
And he is our sports fanatic. He represents sport at Osho Leela. A team called, I forget what they're called.
Glasgow Celtic, founded in 1888 by an Irish priest in Glasgow. If you want any more information, contact me.
He is the leading, the creator or co-creator of a team that goes out very early in the morning called Smug.
Yes. Smug Club. We go swimming every morning at 6:30. Swimming makes us great smug. When we return from the swimming, we like to tell people. That's what makes us smug.
So, that's just a little taste of lovely Khalis. So thank you.
And I'm very modest as well.
Oh, yeah. So this is a dynamic duo because they are very different people, yet are also running a meditation workshop together and come together, and it's like magic actually, the two of you coming together in very different ways, very different offerings, but it really works. Really works. So I'd love to hear a bit more about that as well. as we go on in the podcast. So yeah, just to get started, let me see. So it would be really nice to hear from each of you a little bit about, like your journey, really. So your journey, perhaps to Leela, your journey to meditation, just sharing a little bit of an essence of you and what meditation also means to you. That'd be really lovely to hear.
It's quite a big question for me, because it's like I'm on the path quite a long time. But meditation, I started the journey I'm not so good with years, but I think 20 years ago. But I started because I was a very physical person, so I was like first really into yoga and the more physical part. And then after that study, after the 4-year teacher training, then there was of course also the meditation, and I was never so interested in it. But after it, then Osho came on my path, and through a friend who went to Pune and the university in Holland. So there was all this meditation people around me. And then I started to connect with the active meditations, and then I started to connect with the emotions inside, which I had been suppressing for a long time. So that was the start of a long journey into meditation. I was very disciplined. I was meditating up to 2-3 hours per day in my normal daily life, so it was very disciplined. And now meditation is actually just part of me. So it's like, I just hold that silence and I feel it all the time. So it's not needed that I need to go sit down, but it is also very nice to do. So that's, in a nutshell, the journey.
And do you, when you think back, if you kind of like go back into time, even before your yoga journey, like what was it that kind of even got you on the path in the first place? Like got you seeking?
But I was getting a burnout. I was physically not well. I was not in my body. And I was always very much into sports, but when I got into the burnout and I was challenged by life enough not to have the energy to do the sports, and because of not being in my body, I just was just disassociating. So not connecting, and then I just needed to come back in my body, and then yoga was. I always found yoga teachers fascinating because they had this radiance in their eyes, so I wanted to have that as well. So I started the teacher training, and but it was basically the burnout, not being in my body.
You got a message.
Definitely.
And then followed it through, and wow.
And I always had headaches, always pains in my body, and the first module of the yoga teacher training changed my life, because it was like an energy block release series, and I would do it every day after coming back home. And it would realign me, and I never had any headaches anymore. So and when I have them, I need to look and do something. It's always
giving us a message, physical body.
So that was it's an ongoing journey. I mean, living in Leela is next level of taking care of the body and the nervous system. So there I learned to even step up more and listening to my body more, taking care of my needs.
Right. It's a big it's also a big challenge, right? Like being at Osho Leela, we're a place where there are constantly different people, different energies coming through, and can be quite intense.
Very intense.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing. Khalis, how about you? Tell us a bit about yourself.
How about me? 1987, I'm showing my age. I was in California, by chance or by not chance, by existence, and I ended up in an Osho Center in California. And I went to this Osho Center for the weekend, and I lived there for 2 years. As soon as I met meditation, as soon as I met sannyasins, it's not only sannyasins, as soon as I met meditations, spiritual people, it blew my mind in a certain way. And I was sitting in a car park at 6 o'clock on a Monday morning, and my friend was leaving, and he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to stay here." I didn't know anybody. I'd never spoken to anybody whether I could stay there or not, but I decided I was going to stay in this meditation center and I stayed there for 2.5 years. Then after that, I ended up following Osho. I was in Pune, then I lived in Germany, and I lived in Holland, and I went back to America, I lived in Australia, and I was always connected with meditation because it was something I was looking for. It was like going from Glasgow to where I was living, and I was depressed, and I was drinking, and I was thinking, what's it all about? And I met meditation, and I I felt this is what it's all about. And since that day in the car park in 1987, I've been following meditation. It's the fundamental part of my life. Whatever I do, whether I do sports, whether I go swimming, or meditation is always there with me. And that's the beauty of, for me, it's portable. Meditation is always there and it's always part of me. And I love it.
Yay.
And I ended up at Osho Leela 4 years ago.
Because you'd been in, where had you been before that?
I lived in Italy for 16 years. I lived in America for 3.5 years, Australia for a year, Germany for 4 years, Holland for 2 years. Now living in England is a foreign country for me also. I'm living in this foreign country for 4 years. But I've lived in 12 different countries. I calculated one time. And it's always connected with Osho, always connected with meditation. That's the fundamental part of it, no matter what work I do. A lot of times I lived in communes, a lot of times I lived in private housing, but I was always connected with meditation because I knew from the very beginning this is the way to go.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. You definitely, I feel like you definitely are like our king of meditation at Osho Leela. You know, and you offer... What I love as well, and what many people love about Khalis, is that you're very practical. You know, you bring it in a very practical. Can you feel your feet on the ground? If you come to Osho Leela, and there'll be people watching this, that will be the thing that you take away. Can you feel your feet on the ground?
And remember to breathe. Even right now. Can I just so you know, I'm sitting here like this. This is one of the techniques that I learned. It's called anchoring. If I sit here like this, it helps me keep my presence in the room. So I'm sitting here, and this is a little technique I'm using to stay here as we are doing this little interview. Just so you know.
Yay. Yeah, thank you for sharing. That's lovely. So, yeah, like I said, I've always kind of perceived like Kimaya like an energetic being, very practical as well, though, must say, and Khalis on that practical edge, and like the fact that you kind of like are now you're coming together, you've been together, you've done the art of active meditation once, it's happening again. Could you tell me a little bit about like how that weaves together and what that looks like, and however you want to take that question and go with it?
The art of it's called active meditation. Meditation is very simple. It's a very simple thing. At the beginning, meditation is a point of focus, whether it's your breathing, whether it's a candle. You get distracted by the mind, it's normal. It's part of meditation, being distracted by the mind. You notice you're distracted. Come back to the point of focus. Come back to the candle, your breathing. That is meditation. But when you talk about active meditation, again, it's based on a principle by Osho. According to Osho, the Western mind is not available for meditation. We're too thinking about money, thinking about job, we're too stressed, we're too tense. To ask somebody to come into a room and say, we want you to sit in the Vipassana position, Osho said it's too big a jump. So he created active meditations where before the traditional part, where you're sitting in the lotus position if you choose, he said you have to do some exercise, use some techniques to feel your body a bit more, to let go of some of the tension, let go of some of the stress, and bring the attention from your head down towards your body, down towards your breathing. And then from there, you can more easily enter into meditation. So during this art of active meditation, there's techniques. How do I feel my body a bit more? There's techniques which Kimaya does, using the breath. How do I get more in touch with my breathing? How do I get some of the tension out of my head? And from there, you can move towards meditation. And it's very, very simple. Feel your body a bit more, feel your breathing a bit more. It's more easy to sit in meditation, and it's not that complicated. And all the stuff we do in the weekend is all written down in a little booklet we give you. So for me, it's very, very, very important that you can take these home with you. So it's very, for me, I'm the practical part. Not that you're very practical as well. But
I made the booklet.
yes, she made the booklet. I'm the ideas man. But it's very, it's that simple. Come, learn some practical techniques which you can take home with you. And it's fun also. And if you really want to, sometimes you can talk about football, but that's not necessary.
Don't have to talk about
You
football.
don't have to talk about football.
Just to clarify that.
Yes.
Yeah, and what I like to add to that is we also give a lot of exercises to learn to regulate the nervous system. As we notice that so many people are overwhelmed nowadays with all the energies moving inside of their bodies and outside in their homes or in the world. And to just have these little tools to calm yourself down is really helpful. And it can be really simple. So it's quite, well, last time we had the feedback, it was quite jam-packed, you say that like that, no?
Yeah,
Jam-packed, the weekend with all the tools. But yeah, it's just what you take away from it. And the booklet can support you, like, okay, this is what I need now, this is what I need now.
Yeah.
And it's really, really nice, yeah. And we do a few Osho meditations, but we also have our own, inspired by active Osho meditations, but just to make that sure, like, it's also a lot what we have been weaving together in our experience, what works.
Yeah, right, because you've got a lot of experience. You've both meditated like continually really over those years, haven't you, like in some way, and it's beautiful that you're coming together with those different experiences and weaving it in with the inspiration of Osho as well. I think it's such a valuable offering that you have, because it's accessible, you know, because you have those practicalities, and it is, people can take things home, and it's just a really nice introduction, I think, to kind of Leela, to the Osho meditations, to meditation in general.
Yeah. And also about connecting with yourself and connecting with the other. So we invite the group to connect also in a gentle way with each other. And last time it was so playful and went so deep in a very quick time. So naturally we were eating in silence, for example, the next day, without us asking them to be in silence. But we were so comfortable in each other's presence, and we were so silent inside that it was just natural. It was beautiful.
Wow, that's quite something. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it was really, really nice.
Another concept is social meditation, which was created by a guy called Viresh in Holland. Social meditation, where you do interact with other people, and it's the idea, how can I interact with another person and stay with me, which is very, very valuable when you're outside in the world. How can I be in the world? It's called meditation in the marketplace, which is, I don't know if it's trademarked by Viresh or not, but meditation in the marketplace means I can go about my business outside, and as I'm interacting with other people, I can remember, am I breathing? Am I in touch with my own self as I'm interacting? Which is another great. Social meditation, it's the bonus of you learn to meditate, and you learn to meditate and interact with other people at the same time, which is quite a fabulous concept.
Yeah, I remember actually that concept coming through to me. I was on a dance floor and realizing that my energy was elsewhere. It was like out and like searching and looking. And actually the moment when I brought it back into myself, it was kind of like finding my center and dancing for myself, you know, not dancing for anybody else, but just being in my own space, in my own meditative dance space, really. It was just such a profound, like, different way of just experiencing the dance in that moment. I think that's what you're speaking to with that.
Naturally, we're, as human beings, we project out. I want to tell you who I am, so I put a kind of, not a barrier, but I put a protection up, and I tell you who I am. And I try to tell you I'm happy and I'm jovial and I'm fun. But behind that, maybe there's a different person, a fragile person, a vulnerable person. And that social meditation, the greatest test is to stand in front of somebody and not say anything. To say, look, I'll be there, and it's not about looking at the other person. It's about letting the other person see you, and that's quite a vulnerable, courageous space to be in. But it's where we all want to be, and this is what social meditation teaches you: to be in the presence of other people, and remember to be with yourself. I'm from Glasgow, and I spent the summer in Glasgow, and I was in Glasgow pubs, and for me to stand in a Glasgow pub and I'm talking to somebody and I'm remembering to breathe, and I'm not present at one with the universe all the time. Most of the time I'm in my head thinking, but every now and then I remember to go, and if I can do that in a Glasgow pub, you can do it anywhere. Just so you know.
During your football game, when you watch your
During
football.
a football game.
Yeah. Presence whilst watching football. Yay. Yay.
Can I say one more thing about this? A lot of times we do therapy here in Osho Leela. It's a phrase that I guess I told Sanjula.
Kimaya, no.
My unawareness came alive for a second. Kimaya. Therapy, we do a lot of therapeutic processes here, which are fantastic. Therapeutic processes are a way to learn who you are, about your conditioning. And the idea is that therapy opens the door. It makes you aware of who you are. And meditation is how you keep the door open. And for me, the fundamentals are, you do the therapy, great. How do you keep that work alive? Practice meditation on a daily basis. And for me, that's, this art of active meditation, it's to give you ideas of what can I take home and every day do in my own living room or do in my own, wherever you want to do it. So the meditation is it's like going to a gym. You know, if every day, if you go to the gym, you get stronger and stronger. Every day, if you meditate, it changes your neural pathways, it changes the physiology, it changes the chemistry in your body, and that's how you create change. It's not about doing something once in a while, it's about having the discipline to do it every day.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Khalis. Yeah, we've talked a few times on the podcast as well of like, how do you create change? You know, we've had people come in that have done some of the programs here, like the Leela Life Training and the TLC, and it's actually taking an action, right? Like actually going home after you've been to any workshop and actually making a change. So whether it is like deciding, right, I'm going to get up at 6 o'clock and meditate every day, or going to have a conversation with somebody. And the other thing is being in community, being amongst friends, and that's something that's quite valued here at Leela, and what kind of you offer, isn't it? Really, we offer like doing workshops and stuff. Can you speak into into change? Like, how do you feel like, what supported you to change, or what supports others to change?
I've got a book in my room. It's called Discipline is Freedom. And for me, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you do it. And at the moment, we're just finishing here. It's got a 3-week process where every morning we do a dynamic meditation. And one day I said in the group room, the victory maybe is not only the meditation, the victory is getting out of bed every morning to come to the meditation. So for me, how you create change is decide to do something and do it on a continual basis. Change doesn't work if you do it for a month. If you do it for a month and think, I tried that, it doesn't work. Continual change. And in Osho Leela, the beauty of it is every morning at 7 o'clock and every evening at 6 o'clock, there is the beauty that you can go into the meditation room and meditate with other people. And doing it with other people is a lot easier than trying to do it on your own in your house. If you've got a group of people that support you, getting up every morning at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, it makes a major difference. For me, that is the beauty of living here. The beauty of that we have a group room, a meditation room, which is available every morning and every evening for groups of people to meditate together.
Yeah, totally. I'm totally with you on that. If it isn't for other people, I can't do it. I really, really struggle with that. So yeah, we're doing that. How about you, Kimaya?
Yeah, what I like to add to that is in the change, you need to, when you bring in the meditation and the action, that's where you grow the awareness of your habits, your old habits, which you like to change. So when you bring in a practice like meditation, you will grow that awareness, and you will grow the discipline as well, naturally. And it can also be that you need either here we have a community around, but maybe you need a body outside, or even somebody. I know, for example, that you connect with somebody from outside through Zoom to really do it. If you can't manage to do it yourself, find somebody or to find the support, really.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes difficult to implement that in your life. And not everybody has that discipline, so you need to really be aware, like, okay, what is it what I need to succeed, to create the change in my life? Because it's just not everybody is the same with the amount of discipline and perseverance. It's just not a natural thing for everybody. So there are ways to come together, to do it together. And with the art of active meditation, we definitely like to bring a few of those tools, and maybe a buddy as well. Maybe you meet somebody on the group. There was also like a WhatsApp group afterwards, and then you can, but it's all about action then, and it's also up to you to really do it.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Well, thank you so much for both sharing. If anyone's watching and they're curious, what would your kind of message be to, like, why would anybody come on the art of active meditation?
One of the things I always say to people is, what's the alternative? If I have this idea, if you're curious about something, do it. If it's because it's a little part of you, conscious or unconscious, being stimulated. Your brain might not want to come to the art of active meditation. Oh, it costs money and I've got other things to do. But actually, maybe your soul is going, that's interesting. And it's this idea of follow your instincts. If your instinct says, that's interesting. And I always think, I say to people, what's the alternative? You can stay at home and do the same thing you've did every other weekend of your life, or you can take a little risk. Because coming to Osho Leela is a risk. You're stepping outside your comfort zone, saying, I'm not quite sure about that. But that's your brain wants to stay inside the box, wants to stay secure. But it's your spirit that says, that's interesting. It might not be logical, it might not be material, but your soul may be thinking, I'd love to go there and have that experience. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Famous book by Susan Jeffers. Bit of publicity there for Susan Jeffers. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Do it anyway, yeah. It's interesting listening to you as well, like listen to your soul, like, because it's different for people, right? Like, I know for me, like, it's an experience, it's like a little voice that kind of pops in, and it says, like, and sometimes it can feel quite strong, it's like a yes, do that. Or like there's a sensation in the body as well of like butterflies or excitement. And just interesting, isn't it? People experience that voice or that, the sound of the soul, like, in different ways. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, totally. What I like to share is that, when you feel that you already been there, done that. Like, been there, done. Because we do a lot of active meditations here, and we have a lot of people in our audience who have been there and done that, right? This week it will be different. So we really weave in our own experiences, and also I bring in some somatic practices. We have, some other, the anchoring exercise, or sometimes we do tapping, depending what the group wants. But it's really a variety of tools. So if you really need a break of life, and just need to return to yourself, or you like to have a little taster of how meditation can be for you in your life, then definitely feel welcome to join.
Great. And I think it
can be fun.
And actually it's a lot of fun as well.
There is this idea.
We like joy.
Fun is not learning. We have this Christian idea that to learn something you have to suffer and you have to get down in the dirt. But actually, you can have fun and learn something at the same time. It's not going to be heavy. You're not going to be sweating something off. It's not going to be sweating and thinking, I really need to push myself. It's fun, it's gentle, it's guided, and you'll learn something.
Yeah. It's really interesting when you talk about fun, because like fun and joy and celebration are actually, can be for some people, quite difficult to access. I know for myself, I'm healing. It's got to be serious. It's got to be deep. I'm a Scorpio as well, so it's got to feel really painful, and it's actually like coming into your groups, Khalis, sometimes I can feel the resistance, I can feel it, because it's like, we're going to have fun? What? I've got more important healing to do with my time than have fun, because it's things have to be, the brain, the mind, my conditioning has said that's not, that's a waste of time. But actually it's not. It's super healing, like when we do any sort of like laughter in the meditations as well. Again, it's really difficult to access for me, but super healing, because that's actually what I need. Right?
It's part of the integration.
Yeah.
Very important part of the integration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's difficult to sometimes really honour that it's okay to have fun.
Yeah, so there will be dancing, it will be playful, it will be connection. It will be a little bit of release, but that will be really gentle, because people know us as well as a center where we do really strong release sessions. And we have one session where we give you a little taster, but that's really gentle, and you don't need to do it if you don't feel like it. So, but the rest is, I like to emphasize that the rest is really a more gentle space to be in, and also a lot with the somatic practices we offer. So, yeah.
It's a nice varied workshop, I think, with the two of you running it.
And you get a certificate at the end of it. I know that's important.
Are you going to make it one?
I'll make a certificate.
Oh, there we go. So it's a new additional piece. We'll have to add that into the offering, yeah. Okay. Oh, well, thank you so much for both coming on. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we kind of finish up? Any words of wisdom, Khalis?
Words of wisdom. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Don't know what that means, but I just thought it's words of wisdom.
Thank you.
I'm not so much a words of wisdom. I'm more like an energy creator, but
yeah. Great. Lovely. Well, thank you both for coming onto the podcast. You'll find Khalis at Osho Leela with me. We live here.
Yes.
Kimaya is leaving us, but she's going to be around. She's going to be coming back to facilitate workshops and continue to be part of our promoting. If you would like to stay in contact with her, if you're interested in her work, we will also leave her email in the show notes. If you're interested in the art of active meditation, you'll find all the details of it on the website, which we will link in the interview below. It's also, I thought, it's a great time. It's at the end of January, so it's at a time of year where, although you kind of have this perception of like, I'm going to sort my life out on the 1st of January, like New Year's resolution, after you've actually just, wintered for a little bit, got over the New Year vibes, it's actually a really good time, kind of like coming towards the end of January into February, to have, set an intention to start a new practice and so on. So it feels perfect, actually, this kind of workshop at that time as well. Yeah.
I experienced it as well. I thought, that's actually a really good timing.
Yeah. Brilliant timing. So thank you for watching, and come and join us for another podcast soon. Thank you.
Bye bye.